It's interesting. I know cis women, females, women who were born with wombs, who are bisexual, and they still are uncomfortable with males, men who are bisexual. I'm not gonna. I don't understand that. And we're hearing a lot of times in the conversation, females saying, um, black females in particular, I am not interested in someone who sleeps with a trans person, whether they're pre-op or post-op, because to me, um, they're gay. And what I have to say to that is, I wish that beings who identify as men were not groomed to see having sex with beings who have vaginas, who are born with vaginas, as a form of validation. Like, let's talk about that grooming. Let's talk about how they are brought up to pursue vagina, to chase after vagina, and to feel validated in how much vagina they can have and consume. I really wish that um, beings who are born male with the XY chromosome, I wish they would lean more into that X energy. And I wish that they would see themselves as valuable and see themselves as worthy and see themselves also as a prize, so that and not be so fixated on feeling like they need vagina for to secure their legacy, to secure their family name. I wish that they understood that you can have value and you can contribute to society without having to just be so gung ho about vagina, you know. Because I think that if a lot of beings who were born with the XY chromosome were not just out here being common community penis, and they value themselves, I think that a lot of the way society is set up, they wouldn't have to be so secretive, because they would have value. They would not have to be out here chasing. Like, if they would work on building themselves, if they would work on healing, if they would work on understanding the male and female inside of themselves, and they would maneuver from that space, they would be more whole. They would not attract or even want to pursue the type of partners that would judge them about their sexual interest. This is why, in this society, lesbianism and bisexual females are more acceptable, because the woman sees herself as the prize. She sees herself as valuable. And it's a treat to a man when a woman allows him to come in on that, allows him to take part in that. And I just wish that more males had that same understanding of themselves. Like, not being desperate and chasing after and simping for, but actually doing like the work on themselves, so that it's not her being the prize, it's both of them being the prize. I would love to live in a world, in a society where that is understood. And again, males who identify as men are not being groomed to commodify vagina, to pursue vagina as a commodity and an incubator for his seed, but rather partner. And hey, if it yields physical fruit, if it yields offspring in that way, then that's beautiful. If it does not, then that's also beautiful. It may yield a business, it may yield a ministry, it may yield, they may um, cultivate community together. They may cultivate a tribe together. Like they may discover something. They may design something, some technology. Who knows? Like there's different ways to create, and so I just wish and pray that one day we'll live in a society where beings who are born with females, beings who are born females, won't be in a space where they will feel threatened by males who are whole and have a desire to express that wholeness um, and do not look at other beings based on genitalia. Like they see the soul, they see the spirit, and all the time we're talking about how powerful women are all the time, but it's like I thought men were the ones that were visual creatures. I thought that the woman was supposed to be intuitive, and a lot of these women are not intuitive. Like they're not, like they talk like they're spiritual, but they're not. You have to understand that the first war, like a lot of times we look at history and we think about, when women were beheaded and burned at the stake for being witches, and we think about how a patriarchal society treats women. But what we don't understand is that the first beings who were probably more female than male before the split, the first betrayal, the first split was something that took place in that being. And again, that being was probably aesthetically more female than male. And that being came here, came to this place, and that being split from itself. And the creation story began, but that being was able to create without going outside of itself. That being did not need to go outside of itself to create. And something happened where the clitorises started getting bigger, and then reality started, a different reality started emerging, and they started to have the opportunity where they could feel penetration coming from another aspect of themselves. And we see how crazy a lot of women are behind penis, and so when them clitorises started getting big enough to do deep dives, I mean, they love it so much that even when they mimic it in the queer relationship, like when it's girl on girl, they're gonna still have that strap in the mix. Because when they discovered that you could do that, honey, that's gonna continue whether it's plastic or whether it's organic. So yeah. So I want us to remember that the first betrayal, the first war, you know how they say your greatest enemy is yourself? The first betrayal before men started committing these crimes against women, before XY started committing these crimes against XX, XX committed a crime against whatever was before that. I'm sure it was the X, the one X, from what I've heard, and also from what I believe, because I believe it was the infinity symbol in the beginning, and there's an X in the middle of the infinity symbol, right in where the womb would be. And I think that infinity symbol broke, and then it became one X, and then so on and so forth, XX, then XY. But the first betrayal was a being that was actually the divine feminine. It betrayed itself first. And who knows if it was a betrayal? It probably just wanted to have a different experience. But for whatever reason, we're here now. And so I want to see a generation of XY beings that are so self-realized and understand that they are not just some, like, men are from Mars, women are Venus. That shit made up. Like, we are from the same place because we are mirrors of each other. And I want XY, I want males and men to wake up from this idea, this spell that's been cast on you, that you have to be in pursuit of vagina and you have to work hard for it, and that's the prize, and you, and however many you could get and you could acquire, that validates your manhood. I want males to move out of that space and love themselves and celebrate the X chromosome within them, so much so that they become more whole and they attract other beings to them that are also whole. That is how you heal patriarchy, not by telling him, I don't want to be with no man that's with no other man, or and I don't care what you got. You got your surgery or not. I don't. That's lower vibrational, and we can't get back to oneness. Christness is the vibration of oneness. Y'all talking about y'all following Christ, but you're not. And so we trying to get on the frequency of oneness. We trying to come back together. We trying to be whole again. So I'm tired of all this low vibrational gut bucket, ratchet foolishness. This niggatry. And I want these males to really, like, I used to think that it was the females that maybe needed to fast from sex, but I think the XY, I think a lot of y'all need to fast. Keep that penis to yourself. Set on that pipe. Put it, tuck it between your legs, baby. Hold it. Hold it. And maybe that'll create a shift. Anyway, that's my thoughts. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. If it fly over your head, oh well, it ain't meant for you. I love y'all. Lay Lim Lay Lur Nation. Purple ones rise.